system like Alabama does or LSU, and Jeremy Hill, who's a rising running back out of LSU. But do you think then Bishop
Sankey,
Sankey
something like that.
out of Washington, where do you think he's going to end up? Because some people have him, like Mike Mack has him as their top running back.
Yeah.
He could be like a Giovanni Bernard of last year.
I see him as a third or fourth round pick.
Third? Okay.
Just because of the lack of running backs that are going to be taken.
I know this. Yeah.
Maybe one or two running backs will get a starting job, but not a lot of running backs are getting a starting job this year.
What teams need running backs right now?
None really. Like, no teams have bad running backs. Like the Falcons could improve. Like they've been talking to Chris Johnson. Maybe Jacksonville.
Yeah, they have Toby Gerhardt.
Yeah, they have Toby Gerhardt.
I don't think you're going into the season with just Gerhardt as your
Obviously
running back.
Tennessee.
Right, correct. Yeah, that's the team I think could get Hyde.
Arizona's good.
Atlanta? Did you say Atlanta already? Steven Jackson.
Yeah, I said they could increase.
Yeah.
The whole NFC West is set. Although maybe if the 49ers wanted to get a guy behind.
Yeah, but they had Marcus
yeah.
Lattimore. Don't forget about him coming off an injury, a terrible injury last year.
I mean, the
2 years
Jets
ago.
could improve.
Yeah, the Jets. But that's what I'm interested in right now is when's Chris Johnson going to sign with a team?
I don't know.
He said he would decide this week. This past week that's now passed by. That in really reporting on NFL.com that the Bills were out, the Dolphins were out after signing Knowshon Moreno. So it was really down to the Jets and the Falcons.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering which one of those teams. And I wonder if they even offered him contracts yet. But, I mean, it's just Chris Johnson was a consistent. He's the only running back in the past 6 years has had 1,000 yards in every season. So that's an interesting little stat for Chris Johnson. So let's move on from running backs. And,
All right, now,
yeah,
there's an interesting thing. Everyone knows the NFC West is the best division in football. Can you agree?
yes, I can.
And I do think the Seahawks are still the best team in that division, of course, because they won the Super Bowl. But a lot of people see the 49ers having a bad year this year, or they have the Cardinals just having a better year. Who do you think is going to be better in 2014, the 49ers or the Cardinals?
I've thought about this a lot, and after seeing what the Cardinals have done in free agency, getting Antonio Cromartie to go along with Patrick Peterson, hopefully they're going to get Tyrann Mathieu back off that bad injury, knee injury last year.
Late last year.
I'm thinking too, what are they going to do with that 20 pick? Are they do they still like Carson Palmer, which reportedly they do?
Yep. You know who they should get if follows?
Teddy
Ebron.
Ebron?
Ebron.
Ebron?
Something like that.
That would be pretty
Who's
good.
their tight end?
Rob Hausler.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, and Bruce Arians has always had an impactful tight end in his system. When you go back to when he was the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh with Heath Miller, and then he ran a dual threat 2 years ago in Indianapolis with Dwayne Allen and Kobe Fleener. So, but I look at it, and then I look at what the 49ers did, and there's a lot of turmoil people have been talking about in San Francisco. San Francisco's keep on plugging and playing on their defense in the secondary, which is their one weak spot. They lost Deshaun Goldson last year, and then got Eric Reed.
Yeah.
And then when you look at it, you see this year they lost Dante Whitner to Cleveland. And then they got Antoine Bethea to replace him. So their secondary's a little shaky, and they've got some age when it comes on the defensive line with Brooks and Justin Smith, not Alden Smith.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Arizona Cardinals. But it's going to come down, it's going to be close. But after seeing how promising that team is, besides their quarterback, if Carson Palmer can not throw 22 interceptions like he did last year, which was second most in the NFL behind Geno Smith, this team could be a Super Bowl contender if they weren't in this division.
You know, maybe.
I'm going bold. Everyone. I mean, everyone goes San Francisco, but I don't know. I just think I'm going Arizona. I like what they do, and it seems to work in their receivers too.
Well, yeah, I think I actually may agree with you, especially
me
over the next few years. Both teams are young, and the Cardinals need to get a quarterback in the future, but not this year.
Right.
I don't know.
Even though they don't have many needs.
They don't.
So unless you want to go, you can never have two tight end. But if say Ebron goes to the Bills or the Ravens and they pull the trigger on him, I mean you can never have too many pass rushers, so they could take a D Ford or a Coney Ely. But I mean they have Darnell Dockett and Calais Campbell. Why not pull the trigger on Bridgewater if he's falling? Or if, say, Bridgewater goes to Minnesota and Bortles falls, or Derek Carr, I just think if you get Carr, I mean, you don't have to start him. You can still start Carson Palmer, but I just think if you're having Super Bowl aspirations, I don't think Carson Palmer can get you there because he'll throw the game away for you.
I think I gotta go with the 49ers.
Okay.
Because look at their
It's
weapons.
right?
Vernon Davis, Michael Crabtree,
Plus, if they draft a receiver,
Anquan Bolden, and who else?
Quentin Patton, who they like,
Patton.
who last year came out of Louisiana Tech, and then their running backs.
Yeah, but still, that's a good receiving core. And if Kaepernick keeps doing what he's doing, I think it's the 49ers.
What I've noticed about the NFC West is, yes, Kaepernick and Russell Wilson are freak athletes and they're super mobile, but the teams don't ask them to do a lot, which is why, like, when you look at what Russell Wilson does, he was a game, and I hate using this word, but he was a game manager in Seattle. When you look at, like, they didn't ask him to throw it a lot.
Game manager.
Right, obviously. But, like, they didn't ask him to throw the football a lot. They were a run-based team with Marshawn Lynch.
He had a limited role, and he did it well. Really well.
That's what Arizona needs, too.
He got the job done.
Yeah, right. And that's what Arizona needs, and the quarterback that they have, that's not what he does.
No.
Which is why I think a Bridgewater would be a perfect fit with Arizona. And he could remain a Cardinal. Because, get it? He was a Louisville Cardinal.
I guess. I don't like him that much.
You don't like Teddy Bridgewater that much?
I think he could be a bust. So.
Okay. So, before we go, I want to talk about one more thing. What's been going on at NFL.com right now was a bracket voted by the fans for the best quarterback of all time. Just going to put in a little thing. Donovan McNabb came into the Final Four.
That's awful.
And Joe Montana was defeated by Johnny Unitas in the finals. So a lot of NFL.com analysts and television hosts have been debating this. Who is your best quarterback of all time right now? Is it Johnny Unitas?
Jim Kelly.
Nah, you don't believe that. Even you don't believe that.
But if
he had a ring,
3, he would no doubt.
Oh, if he had 3, yeah, obviously. But even if Scott Norwood's kick goes in against New York, he's in a totally different conversation. All he needed was the 1.
Yes, but someone who is 4-0 in Super Bowls, and Super Bowls matter for quarterback, Joe Montana, he's my best quarterback of all time.
Plus no interceptions in those Super Bowls.
Really? Nice.
Fun little fact. But there is Tom Brady, who I mean, he's got 3 Super Bowl rings, but he has not won one in the past.
You say Tom Brady?
No, wait, hold on. I'm making my case for Tom Brady. He has 3 rings. He is 37, but he said he wants to play, still he's got 4 or 5 good years left in him. When you look at what he had when he won those 3 Super Bowls, yes, he had an amazing defense with Teddy Bruschi, Rodney Harrison, Asante Samuel, Willie McGinnis, and all those guys. And he didn't have to do too much, like a lot of the quarterbacks have been lately. But when it's on his shoulders against New York and against New York again,
they lost.
Couldn't get it done.
No.
Which is why I think it's Joe Montana too, even though that's the boring pick. But it is. He's 4-0 in the Super Bowl and no interceptions. It's undeniable. So
who's better, Peyton or Eli?
I'm going Peyton. The 1 ring is huge, but I mean, Eli Manning's not. He's too hot and cold. Peyton Manning's consistent every single year, even if he doesn't do terrific in the playoffs. Even though he got the team to the Super Bowl this year.
Yes.
So I mean, it's not like he failed in the Super Bowl, but
he did. He failed
in the Super Bowl. I mean, he didn't fail in the playoffs entirely.
Or how about this? Eli or Joe Flacco?
Eli Manning. I got one for you. Ben Roethlisberger or Eli Manning?
I'm taking Eli Manning.
Both got 2. Really?
Yeah.
Who is the best? Do you think Roethlisberger is the best Steelers quarterback of all time? Do you think it's Terry Bradshaw?
Terry Bradshaw.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh, this is interesting. I would say Roethlisberger over both of those guys. Look at, even though
I've watched a lot of Eli Manning in my career.
Of course you have.
And
when
he comes to the playoffs, he is unstoppable.
It's true.
But he throws a lot of interceptions.
One more. Best quarterback in Packers history. Rodgers, Favre, Bart Starr.
Rodgers. I think he will be by the end of his career.
Okay. Yeah, that we'll do it like that too. Brett Favre only had 1 ring.
I don't like Brett Favre, especially because
I think
when I really got into football, it's when he was on the Jets and the Vikings and all that.
Oh, I feel like
It just really.
But you did see like when he was he lost in the NFC Championship
Yeah,
game
but
against the Giants.
Yeah. I don't like it.
But when I think Brett Favre just put a bad taste in everyone's mouth in the end with all the coming back and then leaving and then coming back again and then leaving again. But there was no denying his talent and his gunslinger mentality. But I agree with Aaron Rodgers.
Last one.
He was durable.
Also, all right, last one. Joe Flacco, Trent Dilfer.
Ew, no, not even close. Joe Flacco, Trent Dilfer came in. That's probably the worst Super Bowl of all time when it comes to quarterbacks. Trent Dilfer and Kerry Collins were the starters in that Super Bowl. That's disgusting. I don't know how New York got to that Super Bowl.
Yeah, they were and the week before, my dad was at this game, the conference championship. They won like 56-0 over the Vikings.
Ugh. I gotta do one more. I'm sorry. One more. Steve Young or Brett Favre? Both have one ring. Both were dual threat quarterbacks.
Steve
Young. I'm going Brett Favre with that one.
Doug Flutie or Randall Cunningham.
And that's where we stop.